just had my new tattoo consultation.
Did you? What do you get?
Yeah, man. I'm getting, well, this mermaid that I had removed,
Yeah.
I'm having a whole new one done in like the modern art technique.
And like another mermaid?
Mm.
Really?
Yeah, that's the only thing that could ever go there. So, yeah.
You got a thing for mermaids, eh?
Yeah, maybe.
I gotta have Brad on here. He was obsessed with mermaids for a while, and tried telling me that they were real. And
Oh, you told me that
yeah,
story.
and showed me the YouTube videos. And was like, Brad,
Dude,
come on.
they're not real.
Okay, we're back, everybody. The quick and dirty 30. Hello, Wade.
Hey, man, what's happening?
Oh, just living the dream.
Yep.
Getting close to Christmas time and stuff. I figured we could kind of talk a little bit about stuff like that. For you especially, I mean, you must have you have a larger family.
Yeah.
You've got
I got 3 daughters and 4 granddaughters.
all girls,
All girls.
all spoiled.
Yep.
Was there any kind of traditions you guys have kind of started to keep going?
You know, I think for us, we just always were together at Christmas. And now that everyone's scattered and married and with kids and stuff,
Yeah.
You know,
Everybody's life's getting in the way, if you will.
yeah, but so I travel. Like this year, I'm going to the farm to spend Christmas with Tori and the kids. And then
Okay.
I'll come home, burn over to Raylin's, see her and the twins, and then Alyssa and I will just do something. But yeah, you know, I think for us, it was just always Christmas breakfast.
Yeah.
You know, get up, cook a big breakfast before, you know, boys and babies happened. And
Do you have a lot of days off this year? Do you have time to spread out at least?
Yeah, I'm going to be, I'll take Christmas Eve off, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and, you know, we'll see what the rest of my crew does. If they want to take the rest of the week off, I'll
Have at
probably
it,
just
kinda
I'll shut it down
awesome.
too, yeah.
Do you guys do real trees, or are you into the fake trees?
I'm a fake tree guy.
A fake tree guy?
Because I'm a tree hugger.
Okay, that's
right?
good.
And that's cool.
We've always, like with my family, we always had the fake tree thing, and I don't know, like the real tree thing, it doesn't make sense anymore.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure there's speaking of political correctness and whatnot, I'm sure there's a really good reason why you shouldn't have real trees.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're like, you know, they're grown for, I get it kind of thing. But, you know, today's day and age, you should probably just cut the
I
fake tree.
think so. I'm of that persuasion. And
Do you
but
have the spray to make it still smell like a tree?
No, I'm not that crazy.
don't go
It's
that
just,
crazy?
it's just, you know, I don't fault people for doing it, but
Yeah.
you know, my opinion only goes as far as my door. So I just like having a
fair.
fake tree. Yeah.
I think that's like I know the big one always recently was like Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas
Right.
kind of thing, and I'm probably one of the most atheist people there is.
Yeah,
but I still say Merry Christmas.
I'm
I
on
mean,
your side there too.
Yeah.
My thing is I can say Merry Christmas and have no religious connotation to
Exactly.
it at all. Christmas to me, whether it doesn't, you do whatever you do in your house, but in our house, you know, Santa Claus is real, and you know, we love the shows and we love Rudolph, and it's Christmas presents and Christmas lights.
Yeah.
And that's what works for us. But if I see you on the street, I'm going to say Merry Christmas, and it means nothing other than, you know what, just it's Christmas time.
I think people get so wrapped up in this stuff, and there was the whole Don Cherry thing, where they're
Right, the
saying
you people.
the you people, and it's just like, oh my god,
You know what, just
you offend everybody all the time nowadays. It
I'm
seems
on
like.
Don Cherry's side only because it's just like, stop. And here's the thing, you know, I heard a interview with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and they asked him about something that was going on at a certain amount of time
Okay.
in the States.
Yeah.
And his answer was, listen, everybody has talked shit about someone or something or some ethnicity in the confines of their own home.
Right.
Everyone has. So everybody has to check themselves before they go screaming at someone else.
Yeah.
This was a business decision by whoever.
Sportsnet. Or
Yeah.
yeah. And I was it the right time to be going on the soapbox and saying these things? Probably not. It's
Right.
what's supposed to be about hockey and in between.
Right.
But, you know, it wasn't maybe the right place to do it, but I don't agree with how they reacted.
And I think though, if you look at Don Cherry and who he is, he's a generation ahead of us, if not 2 generations
Right.
ahead of us. And he just opened his mouth, and we've all done it. I've said something stupid before. Like I remember, you know, to throw myself under the bus. It was funny. It's not funny now, I guess, but my daughter and I were shopping in Sport Check. Mm-hmm. And the guy brought me a size 12 shoe. And I said, wow, you could fit a small Mexican family in this. And Alyssa goes, Dad. I says, what? She goes, there's a Mexican standing right behind you.
He's right there, isn't
It
he?
was true.
Yeah.
It was, I turned around and, well, shit. But you know what? Sometimes you just say things and it means nothing.
Yeah. I just don't understand why people get so hurt so fast kind of thing
Right.
too. Like, working where I work kind of thing, you're like, people get so butthurt so bloody fast over nothing. It's like life is way too short to be this mad about the dumbest thing.
Or just have a sense of humor about it. A funny story my dad told me when I was a kid was my great-grandfather, Joe, who I got to know well, used to always have this joke, and it was, what's black and blue and lies in a ditch? And he'd say, the next one of you sons of bitches that cracks a Polish joke.
Oh, okay. That's great.
And he didn't mean anything by it. He was just saying,
Yeah. That's great. Good for him.
It was good.
Speaking of, you mentioned a little bit about things you watch and stuff like that. Do you have any kind of go-to movies you have to watch?
Yes,
every year,
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, I didn't even think of that one.
That's the one.
Okay.
The scene with the toboggan going down the hill, and I think for me too, of my generation, I'm 47, is the original Rudolph, the claymation one. I think that's it for me. I have to see that movie.
I think Elf is probably one of the big ones now.
Will
Ferrell.
Yep.
It's probably one of the best ones. And Home Alone.
Right.
You gotta have Home Alone in there somewhere.
I love the Home Alone too, but going back to when I was a kid sitting in front of the TV with Frosty, it was Charlie Brown's Christmas.
Oh yeah, another good one.
Super fun things like that. So the Home Alones, and even though we both like them, they're awesome.
Yeah.
That's kind of that's a generation or even half a generation removed from me, but I still loved it. I thought it was awesome.
There's a great little series on Netflix now. It's like called the movies that made us.
Right.
I think it just went on there, and they talk about Ghostbusters. What was the other one? Ghostbusters, Die Hard, which is again another good Christmas movie.
Good Christmas movie.
Which I thought Shane Black was involved with Die Hard for some reason, and I don't know why I always thought that, but I was going through the credits and waiting to see written by Shane Black, and he's got nothing to do with it. But anyways. And then they talk about Home Alone too.
Right.
John Hughes wrote, and apparently John Hughes used to write like a script like in a weekend.
Yeah, he was genius.
It's crazy good.
Okay, now speaking of the movies that made us and nostalgia, did you see the Affinity commercial? The ET comes back. They have the same actor.
I have not seen this.
You know what? It's amazing, and you're a little younger than me.
I watched ET lots though.
Right, and I was just remember, like, it's Elliot.
Yeah, I still remember ET when there's the scene where the bike is going to fly over top of cop cars. They changed them to having radios. One of the original versions, they still had shotguns in it. So I still remember watching that.
Right.
More political correctness, right? You can't have guns.
You can't have anything to offend anybody now, you know.
So but no, I haven't seen the commercial yet. I've
it's
seen
good.
Little clips of it kind of thing, but I haven't sat down and watched it yet.
Anyone who's listening to us right now, get on YouTube or wherever and just type in ET commercial. It'll take you back. It's so good.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to check that out. So now that we're in winter time, and I'm sure you mentioned you had to go see Frozen 2.
Yeah, Frozen 2. I'm not going to spoil anything. It's great. It's going to make $1 billion. Take your kids to see it. It is, I look at it like.
Is it just as iconic as the first one? Like, what was that? Let It Snow? No.
It's not going to be as iconic because the songs are good, but the song's not whatever it was. I forget. The Let It Go. Go. Yeah.
That I'm sure you've had to hear
it's visually unreal. Like it's a perfect Disney movie.
Did they need to make a second one? I haven't seen the first one, so like, does it end on a cliffhanger?
I don't think they need it, but it's business. It is on track to make $1 billion. Jesus. Like this week, driving to work today, I heard Rob and Shauna saying that it did worldwide, or is it's just at the finish line to make $1 billion already.
That's insane.
And it's not necessary, but looking at it from my age to a 4-year-old's age, of course it's necessary when you're 4. They want to see it again.
Yeah. So how many times have you seen it so far?
Just once.
Just the once?
Just the one time.
Did you take all the kids and
no,
kids we're all going to go see it at the same time?
But next year when everybody's like, I can trail 4 grandkids, they're all older, we're going to go see something.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think what's the next one coming out? Well, they're doing more of the live action stuff. I think Mulan's like the next one they're making.
I don't want to see the live. I love I think that's all great and it's visually amazing.
Yeah. Well, I got Disney Plus the other day.
Yeah.
And so I've been going through all the different movies. And I have no interest in watching the Lion King live action.
I haven't seen it because I just think the first one is perfect.
Well, apparently it's like a shot-for-shot remake. So
yeah.
Well, what's the freaking point?
Yeah.
I don't get that. Do you have Disney Plus yet?
Yes, I love it. Because you texted me and said you got it. And I got it right after. I was like, okay, I got to check this out.
I've been powering through X-Men, the animated series.
Okay.
Which is the only X-Men that's done the Dark Phoenix saga properly.
According to the comic books.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So good. And then I started watching The Mandalorian.
Me too.
What'd you think of that?
I'm 2 episodes in.
Okay.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm not super Star Trekky, but I love Star Trek.
Star Wars.
So see, there you go.
See?
I'm not super Star Warsy, but I still think for any Star Wars movie to be Star Wars, you need a Skywalker, you need Vader.
I think that's what they're trying to get away from. I think they're trying to be like, okay, this universe is supposedly huge.
Right.
Let's tell another story that doesn't involve that.
Yeah.
And I was in for that. I was like, okay, here we go. They're going to do something completely different. And then I think it's a Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Is it actually Baby Yoda though, or like his
they
same
don't really
species? They haven't said it yet, right?
According to all the chatter online and stuff, it's the same species, but who knows? We'll see.
I like that a lot of pretty much all of it is very live action, not a lot of CGI.
Right.
That looks really good.
Yep.
Just the way they're doing the episodes, I don't know. It feels like they're really stretching it out. Like the first episode especially felt like it didn't really end. And then when you see the second episode, it's like, oh, so they easily could have had these two things together.
Yeah.
But they're trying to get just more episodes out of it, I guess.
I think that's what's going on. I was really disappointed. I think it was Stranger Things or some series that I know you and I were watching, and we talked about it at work one day. Was like the 4 episodes in the middle were just nothing. It was like, okay, the first 3 episodes are awesome, the last 3 episodes are awesome, and then let's just throw in some bullshit in the middle.
Yeah, another one with Stranger Things, especially, it felt like that easily should have just been 1 season.
Yeah,
like, it was great. Leave it alone. Not everything needs to have 10 seasons.
And it's the same thing over and over. There's going to be everyone's in love. Some bad happens. They have to go through a bunch of crazy shit, and in the end, they win. And next season will be the same thing.
It's not rewriting the wheel kind of thing.
Yeah.
I will always watch season 1 again and again, I think.
Yep.
Of Stranger Things. But I don't think I'll watch 2 and 3 nearly as much.
You know what movie I think I was at Victoria's house. My daughter Victoria, and they had Super 8 playing, which kind of reminded me of Stranger Things. Yeah, it was a little monster movie. Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool. It was pretty good. Yeah, it was good.
I seen, I think everyone's talking about it now, The Irishman.
Oh, man. Seen it 2 nights ago.
What did you think? Martin Scorsese, The Irishman on Netflix. This is what
I think. I think it was awesome, but you were right in your text. You said it was like a slow roll.
Yeah.
This is the way I think of it. You got to look at it from a generation or even an iconic thing. You got all these modern movies now, and they're all awesome. I love Marvel movies. I love DC movies. I love Harry Potter. I love all that stuff. This is the big boys showing up one last time saying,
don't
hey
forget
guys,
about Martin, right?
We are it.
I enjoyed it. I don't think it needed to be 3.5 hours long. I think they could easily trim that fat down.
Yep.
Even under 3, I think.
I think so. There was some times where I was just like,
there was a couple weird scenes in it.
Yeah.
I think everyone's seen it, so we can talk about it. Obviously it's based on a book. I Hear You Paint Houses.
Yeah, so I Hear You Paint Houses. Yeah,
and it's his version of how Jimmy Hoffa died.
Right.
And some of the things that took me out of the movie, the de-aging.
Right. Yeah, me too. Little bit something weird.
Yeah, like it's been getting better. Like there's some really bad ones. Everyone talks about Tron, like how the de-aging in Tron was brutal. But recently there's been some really good ones. This one felt like they ran out of budget or something.
Yeah.
And he's wearing contacts, I think, too. And they look, De Niro is.
Right.
And I just kept thinking, why is he wearing contacts? Like, I shouldn't be thinking about this.
But it was taking me out of it too. I totally agree with you.
There was the weird wedding scene where it goes like super slow-mo. Like he's walking down the aisle, like Ray Romano's character.
Oh, right. Yeah,
and it's like out of nowhere.
To be there, yeah.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, and he lifted her veil up in the end and kissed his daughter.
Yeah, and it's like, who are these people? Like, why are we in this wedding? They haven't mentioned anything about a wedding that I can remember. And it was just like, that scene easily could have been out of there.
Right.
But some really good scenes. The last scene, last kind of section where they're going to the house and there's like that really wide shot up top and they're watching the car go and so you're getting a really good idea of the geography and that really good tension. That stuff was really good. But like, I think that I even wrote down like the de-aging was not great.
Right.
I wrote down kind of like, would I watch this as much as I would watch Goodfellas or Casino? I don't think so.
The thing for me that there were 2 things that I think stuck out. There was an actual perfect scene, I thought.
Okay.
But before that, I think Joe Pesci, seen him back.
He was great.
You got to think this is probably his last role ever.
Yeah.
He is in his 80s, and he doesn't come out. He's just this. It was like pulling teeth to get him to do this.
He was the best part of
He was perfect, though. Even that scene at the beginning where where they were fixing the truck.
Oh, yeah.
I watched an interview this morning before I got rolling with Scorsese. He says that was ad-libbed.
Really?
And that's what made him... He says, we rehearsed that scene, and Pesci just made it up. And he goes, got it. That's the character.
Oh, okay.
The whole scene wasn't written, or it was, but he said, no, I'm going to say this. And he just did it. And the cameras rolled.
He definitely had the best parts of the movie. I also liked the actor who plays Hoffa's son. I think it's his adopted son, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
he reminds you of Matt Damon.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah,
and he was really good in it too.
I liked it.
He's in a movie called Game Night. I think it is.
Never heard of it yet.
Game Night. It was like a action comedy thing a while back, and he was really good in that too. I think that's him.
No, I think for that movie though, the perfection that I seen was the very last scene with De Niro. He's all
Back
alone.
in the hospital.
Yeah, he's in the hospital. You know that he's getting ready to die.
Yeah, picking out his own coffin
and
too
then
was an interesting scene. Yeah.
The orderly or the gentleman taking care of him said something about Christmas, and he said to him,
"Oh, it's Christmas.
Is it Christmas?"
Yeah.
He's so alone, and you can maybe tell his mental faculties are going, and there's no one there, and he doesn't even know it's Christmas. He's so alone.
Yeah.
That's what his life led him to, was just sitting there.
And like the little scenes with Anna Paquin, who just that little scene at the bank, like super subtle, but just like how she is like, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
I don't need you anymore. Like she was really good in it too.
Yeah, because she really had an affection for Jimmy Hoffa, almost like a grandpa-like affection for him.
Yeah, she did like a report on him in the movie, right?
Yeah.
So she was really good in it.
Yeah.
I did find there was one scene where he takes her back to the grocery store where the guy like pushed her or something.
Oh yeah.
The shot of him throwing the business guy out the glass door is so bad. Like it looked so fake. Like the glass, I think, is all digital or something.
Yeah.
Like just like those little things that are like, where'd the budget go?
And then some of the things that stand out because you pick things apart is every time Hoffa got into a fight or something, the angles, you could only see the top of because it was a stunt double, right? You could only see the top of his head.
Yeah, that's
and his face was buried on the ground, and you could never. And of course, I get it. He's 83 now.
Yeah, he's fighting like an 83-year-old.
Right. So it was funny.
Yeah, those things were that kind of, like I said, took me out of it a little bit. But like I said, would it be something that I'm going to watch? Oh, we're doing a movie night tonight, and we're doing our big Scorsese nights. I don't think so.
No, but what I will say to everyone is watch it because these are icons, and this is not that Avengers is not real acting, but this is the nuts and bolts.
I would love to see it again, maybe a slightly reduced version, but I'd love to see it with commentary from Scorsese. Oh, yeah. I love commentary and stuff. I rewatch Lord of the Rings religiously, and I have the commentary going all the time. I think it'd be really cool. And I think we may have mentioned this once before, that if Netflix or Disney Plus or whoever gave you an extra option to spend the extra $5 a month or whatever, and you could have like the bonus features and stuff.
Yeah, I think that'd be good too, because I love the bonus features. And now I have to hunt. You go down the rabbit hole on YouTube. That's how I found that Scorsese interview this morning. Or, you have to find those special features now instead of them just being there.
Yeah, like that was with the extended editions of Lord of the Rings and stuff, all the behind the scenes, how they made the stuff. I love that stuff. Yeah. They need to do more of that. And I think that's the problem with the streaming services. You lose out on all the little stuff that you can't get when you don't buy a Blu-ray anymore. I was actually looking at TVs the other day, Black Friday, of course. Right. Everyone's buying a cheap one. Yeah. And they're like 8K now. Like nothing's even filmed in 8K. Yeah. Like why are people doing this? And I'm wondering what's the next, I don't want to call it a gimmick, but like, when Blu-ray came over DVD, it was a significant step up. It looked so much better. Like, what can they really do?
I don't know.
Differently.
I guess we won't know. It's one of those things like Apple says, you don't know what you want until you see it.
I guess.
But I think visually, one of the things in the last 10 years that really struck me was when I seen Avatar.
Yeah.
Say whatever you want about the movie, but I did enjoy it. But when I seen what I seen, I was like, wow, that is never been done before.
Yeah, the 3D in that was done. Well, it was amazing. I can't deny it.
Yeah.
I remember going to see it with my buddy Greg,
Yeah.
and I think like the next week or two later, we went and saw Monsters versus Aliens, the animated one that came out, and it was doing the stupid 3D crap too. And I was like, that's how you don't do 3D.
Yes.
And Avatar, I mean, you know, they tried some other different stuff with like the Hobbit movies. They tried doing that 60 frames per second.
I didn't
whatever.
like that. It threw me off.
It makes everything look like a documentary. It's weird.
And a soap opera, I found. It didn't seem like they were acting.
Yeah, it takes you out of it.
It's cheap.
Yeah, so get rid of that.
Yep.
I am glad that not everything's in 3D anymore. For a while there, man, you couldn't see anything.
Well, everyone was copying Avatar because it was so amazing.
Yeah, get those dollar bills printed.
Yep.
So like when you said with Avatar, I mean, that's something that left a lasting impression with you. Are there any other kind of movies that you can remember, like where you were, if you hear something that reminds you of, oh, I remember this song always reminds me of this movie, and like I'll never forget it.
Yeah,
kinda,
weirdest. It's so obscure though. There's a song on Kevin Costner film called "Message in a Bottle." Oh, and there's a Sinead Lohan song on that album. It's called "No Mermaid."
Slade.
Sinead Lohan. She's a Canadian artist.
Oh, okay.
And so we're gonna veer to the left here. So I always liked that song. It reminds me of that movie.
Yeah.
But my friend and I did a road trip to see Willie Nelson in Regina.
Cool.
And there was a band called Shay, 3 Canadian ladies.
Okay.
And they sang that song, and I was like the only one in the building who knew what it was. So they had a meet and greet in between them and Willie.
Yeah.
And Mike and I went up. And I said to them, the ladies, I said, hey, really good job on that Sinead Lohan song. And they all three of them thought back and said, you know that song?
You're that one guy who watched the movie?
You're the one guy who knows who wrote it, every word to it, everything.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun. But there's that movie-wise, I think if there's one iconic movie that I watch every year, it's the Godfather series.
Do you count number 3 with that?
No, just 1 and 2. Yeah. Because then number 3 was just, I don't know, it just took away from it. It didn't fit.
Yeah, it felt like a cash grab.
And hey, the actor.
Which one? Pacino?
Pacino said the only reason he did that was for money. He even admits it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think, isn't the one who the actress who plays the daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And she was brutal in it.
Yes.
I think
Francis Ford Coppola's daughter.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the only reason she was in there. Is right. Like, it's his daughter. You got to have her in there.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
What is a movie that defines your youth? I have one, but like one movie that you could just say was your thing.
Probably The Sandlot.
Mine was The Black Stallion.
Interesting.
Yes.
That's not a Disney one.
That's also Francis Ford Coppola.
Is it really?
And it was written by, oh shit,
that guy.
Never mind. I just heard it. Yeah. That was my movie though.
What? I don't even remember what The Black Stallion is.
It's a horse.
Well, yeah, but what's it about?
It's about a horse that gets taken from overseas, and long story short, runs away. This boy finds it, and he finds a trainer who is Mickey Rooney.
Oh, okay.
And he trains him to be. They win this huge race, and the friendship of the horse and the boy learning, how to ride, and it's a huge book series by Walter Farley too, which I read when I grew up with horses.
Right.
So I read the books first, and then when the movie came out, wow, that was it.
It's got to be impressive to kind of see something like that, or make you give another appreciation for the books when you do see it on screen and done well.
Yeah.
That's the other half of it, when it's done well.
Right.
And I think one of the I just watched all 3 Die Hards, but I only count the first 3 just because the rest are junk.
Yep.
And because I've never seen them all, I've always watched them like on TBS, so it's like half the stuff's cut out, and the dialogue is Mother Trucker or whatever instead of Sam Jackson. And I think the one that gave me as well to watch was Maximum Overdrive.
Ooh, I don't think I've seen that.
It's a Stephen King book, basically about this comet that goes by, which makes like appliances and cars come to life. And it's so stupid, but I'd have to imagine, I've read some Stephen King books, I haven't read that one, but I would have to imagine that would translate much better in a book. And I think where I'm going with this is I think there's some books that you shouldn't try to translate to movies. And I think almost all of them are Stephen King books. Like,
Yeah.
if you ever, I read Pet Sematary like in grade 5. Everybody was doing Goosebumps at the time, and I did Pet Sematary. And when I watched the movie, it was just like, oh no, like it's just, there's so much stuff you can't translate. And it seems like it's always a Stephen King.
Because the books are 6,000 pages long.
Yeah. There's Red Letter Media guys that I watched. They did a review on Stephen King's It, the first part that came out. And it was just like a picture of it was like a pile of cocaine plus Stephen King equals It. Like,
right.
It was basically all it was. Like when he starts writing, he just goes off on tangents kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I haven't read It.
Me either.
But they mentioned in there that the clown or whatever the entity is from a planet that's on the back of a giant space turtle.
Perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, in your mind, your imagination stuff, that would probably be pretty cool. And it's obvious why they wouldn't put it in a movie, because how the hell do you film that?
Yeah.
But it's like his books, I think, are just the ones that people should just stay away from.
Yeah.
You know, like they did Pet Sematary again just recently.
I know.
I haven't seen it, but it's got John Lithgow, and I do like him, so I might
he's cool.
watch it for that. But I know it's not going to be the faithful adaptation kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's, when you mentioned the Black Stallion, something like that would probably be an easier one to translate.
Oh, it's beautiful. I have the answer. Melissa Matheson, who is Harrison Ford's ex-wife, she also wrote E.T.
No kidding.
So there's the connection to the beginning of our podcast, and now we're winding it down.
We nailed it. I'm gonna have to watch that commercial now with the ET thing.
Yeah.
That should be another thing we should have a list of things you should never ever remake. And I think ET is definitely one of them. But I'm so scared because Hollywood is running out of ideas.
They're running out of ideas and I think that it's not just they're running out of ideas; is that people don't have the headspace anymore to watch a Goodfellas or The Godfather or the Irishman.
Right.
And it's, aside from all the stuff we talked about, it's a movie. It's character driven.
Yeah.
These guys are there. There is no other Pacino or De Niro or Pesci right now working.
Yeah. Chris Hemsworth is not going to be the next Al Pacino kind of thing.
Right.
And I think that a lot of it too is with studios and the way everything has to be a home run. You can't have movie that only makes $100 million.
It's the same with music, though, too. You get one shot.
Yeah.
I did an interview with John Bon Jovi, and he said, hey, our first album, not so good. Second album was a little bit better. Mm-hmm. We made 3 albums before we had Slippery When Wet. That wouldn't work today.
That would never happen.
If we put out our first album, there would be no Bon Jovi.
Yeah. Because I think everything's got to be a home run.
Right.
Everything's got to be perfect. And I think that's why, the Marvel movie formula works.
Oh, yeah.
Because, it's big, it's grandiose, it's, I don't know what else to say kind of thing, but it's just, they're safe. They're a safe bet.
Just before I got here, or before I left the house, I found a big steaming pile of shit on the internet, and it was, they are rebooting the Transformer series.
Again?
Right from scratch, like no Michael Bay, no anyone. They're just we don't have anything else that's gonna rival Marvel. So let's just do this all over again.
God, just let it
be.
Let it die.
Right? Oh man, but that's what I mean.
Yeah, but they're running out of ideas. That's the way it is. They should do a GoBots movie instead of Transformers. You ever seen
I remember GoBots. Yeah,
I actually have a couple of VHS movies of GoBots. They're so good.
I used to watch this. I used to watch this obscure cartoon when I was a kid called Battle of the Planets, like G-Force and everything.
Okay,
I thought that it was kind of like the first anime. I think it was kind of done in that Japanese style.
I have all the episodes of Astro Boy.
Oh, I love Astro Boy.
Yeah, that's the only anime I ever got into.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and then for a while there, I was trying to find all the episodes of everything. So I have all the episodes of Transformers, but I found this really cool Japanese version of it. So the menus are impossible to understand. So you have to kind of guess what play is. But it came like this big metal container and had like a bunch of extra artwork and stuff. It was just awesome. And then I have all the episodes of Thundercats,
right,
which is another one of my favorites. I even have a Thundercats belt buckle.
Nice.
Back when people used to have belt buckles.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah. Well, mine weren't as big as the cowboy style, but they're like, had some cool ones. I got Ninja Turtle one as well. I'm going to bring that back. I'm going to bring back the people wearing buckles again.
Yeah, and like fun, but like movie belt buckles or like ones that can open beer bottles. And
I have one of those too.
Yeah, I do too. Like cowboy belt buckle. Yeah.
Well, there we go. Well, that was a lot of fun.
That was one of the good ones. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Thanks everybody for listening. We'll have this up pretty quick, and we'll see you guys all next time.
We'll see you real soon. Yeah.
Bye-bye.